Hi and welcome to 24 Astro. Today I am talking about Jupiter in your 12th house and what that would and could mean for you if you have this placement. Since Jupiter represents, with the keywords, luck, expansion, abundance, it's always where we would tend to look to see where we could have some luck potentially. And I saw to this planet as an energy where we're fortunate, where we have things come easy for us. But where I've noticed for me that it's even more resonant is that it's not just good luck and fortune and where we could potentially expand. It's where if we focus on this area, a lot of things, just like our true north, our north node, it can potentially help us reach our abundance and fulfillment. And if you look at where your Jupiter is, we know now, since this video is about that it's in the 12th house, if you also add on the layer then which zodiac sign it is in, it can tell you which type of theme you experience mostly here. And in the 12th house of union with what is, union with God and other people, bringing the unconscious collective together. If you have your Jupiter here, it most likely means, because even though it's unity with oneness, it's also everything that enhances that experience, which is why so many keywords are also about reclusiveness and jail and things in confinement, in solitude, which is why we need those experiences to really tap into the union field. So if we add that on top of having Jupiter here, most likely you will benefit a lot from time alone, and you will benefit a lot from digging into the unconscious and aligning yourself with tapping into the union with other people and the unconscious, but from a distance, from a protective shield around yourself and your being. This could mean that you would benefit a lot from meditation, for example. And if you have a lot of resistance towards that, don't force anything, just put it in the back of your mind that you have a lot of potential when it comes to solitude, when it comes to recharging with the collective from your experience of self. You need that plugged in sensation in order to flourish and grow. Also then, if we add the layer then with which zodiac sign it is in, that could give you a clue or a hint on what topic or what theme you're meant to process with this solitude and connection to oneness. I, for example, have it in Scorpio, which for me has been a lot of digging deep, digging into the unconscious, the reformation of myself. Also dealt with a lot of sexual trauma and trauma in general. So just this going into the darkness basically in my solitude. But for you, if you don't have it in Scorpio, see to which zodiac sign it is in, and then I'm starting to do this now where I ask or recommend people to check the modality the element is in, and also if it's a masculine or feminine sign. These are the the essence quality of the zodiac sign, and then all the keywords and stories you've heard from other people, add them into the mix. But if you just study what the modality, element, and I don't know the word or the summary word for the yin yang aspect, but if you add that on top of the knowledge you already have of what that zodiac sign means, it will give you a more wide interpretation that is more personal for you, since you will have a lot of more ground to stand on. It's not just you reciting someone else's interpretation, it's more from a felt sense of truth coming from yourself. So then checking, say that it's in Pisces, for example, which if you have it in Pisces and in the 12th house, that's a very like, wow, that's a I would like that placement. But yeah, just checking up that it's a water element, and then doing your research on what that means. What does that entail? And then checking which modality, I think it's mutable, checking which gender, and it's a feminine sign, and then adding all of those together to get like a context of what it could mean for you with the Jupiter in the 12th house. I had a lot of also resistance towards this part of myself. I think it's pretty common that we live in a world where we look down on solitude. Everyone should try to fit in, be social. We live in a very masculine world where we are supposed to be socially aggressive. So adapting this or allowing this time for yourself and realizing what this gives you, it can take a long time to get there. If you're like me and have a shadow side about being introverted, for example, but realizing then that this introversion is mirrored in your chart, and that's mirrored for a reason. You're supposed to grow and expand within solitude for a reason, for your mission here, depending on your other placements, of course, like wherever your sun sign is, moon sign, rising sign, but just realizing this part is precious. It gives you so much fulfillment, probably, from this reclusion from others. And it doesn't have to be so like 0 to 100, of course. It can just mean that you are supposed to balance being with others and then really retreating into yourself and exploring whichever theme / zodiac sign you have, but just giving yourself this allowance and seeing the possibility, even maybe trying to convince your ego of the benefits from this reclusion, that it can help you achieve your goals if you allow this fortunate placement, and really feeling into your body of, do you feel re-flourished or replenished after being alone for a long time? And it also, of course, can be you're doing stuff that is alone, but it's destructive. And then this is probably not that your habits in your alone time are for the higher good of your ego and soul. So probably you're self-sabotaging. It could be that you're not allowing this solitude, and then having guilt surrounding having this time alone. You don't know how to self-soothe in the correct way for your inner child. Could be a way. that could cloud your experience of being by yourself. You could look at alternative ways to self-soothe then if you notice this pattern. But just having this placement really highlights the importance for yourself to really go within, connect to unity. There's so many different, just like stillness is a really like a really complementary thing for someone with this placement. There's Vipassana meditation centers all over the world, which it's this Buddhist oriented center retreat where you meditate for 10 days without talking. That's like this this placement, but really like kind of like extreme if you haven't done a lot of self-reflection and being in stillness. But if you want to really throw yourself and honor your Jupiter in the 12th, that's a good thing to like throw your ego into, to really reap the benefits, see how much you really evolve in those 10 days, probably more than most with that don't have displacement. It could be very beneficial to go to like counseling, like psychology, really, because it also represents that unconscious collective, really looking at those unconscious patterns that are really not your own. It could also be a very beneficial thing for you. You probably have a lot of growth to do in that area. And also, if you don't want counseling and are meant or more comfortable to do your own dirty work, then really looking into Carl Jung, that could be a very, since he's the master of collective unconscious. Studying him, discovering the archetypal language that we could use to really go into ourselves and see our different parts of our psyche. And if Carl Jung's books or content is too advanced or difficult, there's more modern takes, like Jungian psychologists. There's this podcast on YouTube that discuss the different archetypes. There's Robert Johnson is one of my favorite authors. He's more like a modern take of Carl Jung's teachings. His books are very short and go really deep. They talk a lot about mythology and archetypes to really initiate a form of healing that doesn't really need the support or effort from the ego, more than actually getting ourselves to do the job, or like starting to discover or explore these areas. A lot of good stuff. And I love this, like really I love this placement. It is so, like, it is like we get lucky in the placement of unity and ultimate spirituality, since the ninth house is more like philosophy, religion, and so forth. It's more about like the ego's relationship to those different searching modalities. But in the 12th house, it's more like we have a concept of those things already. We have understood the search, even though the ego in this incarnation needs to discover them anew. It's like we have more to explore this lifetime. It's this deep felt sensational experience of truth and the vastness of really uncovering this and exploring it again. And it's like this I want to like keep talking about this, I've noticed, but it's this well this well of knowledge and wisdom, and like this abundance is the correct word I'm looking for. It's this abundance that we have a growth opportunity within. So giving ourselves and allowing ourselves to have this quiet space, it's, if you haven't done that before and you have this placement, then really try to get your ego on board of reaping the benefits from this placement. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was valuable for you, and please leave a comment telling me how you experience what I say, if it resonates for you, and I'll see you in the next video.